Okay, today is substitution method for systems of equations. So we are not going to graph today, but we are going to solve these two equations simultaneously by using the substitution method. Now, notice I've got this dotted line drawn down here because you want to keep your equations separate. The whole idea is to substitute one equation into the other equation. And if you plug it into itself, you don't get anywhere, okay? So, substitution. First step, you need to get x or y alone. So you take a look at both of your equations and you decide, how can I get x or y alone easily? And if you look at the bottom equation, x is already alone. It already says x equals. So x is isolated. So we're going to keep the bottom equation here, and we're going to put the other equation here. Okay? Now, here comes the substitution part. This is where it's kind of like a scavenger hunt. This is your clue. If it says x equals, then that means that this stuff is equal to x. So we are allowed to go into the other equation and put this stuff in here for x. You got to be careful when you do this because you got to use parentheses because it's -3 times the entire value of x, which we're saying is 3y plus 2. And then you keep everything else in the equation. So don't forget to write the plus 4y and the equals 4. Now, we only have one variable. X is gone, we replaced it, and that means we can find a solution for y. So we're going to just use our solving skills, where we do the distributive property, and we combine some like terms here. Okay, and then add 6 to both sides. And divide by -5. So y equals -2. Okay, now remember our solution is an ordered pair. So we know the y value so far. We found out that it is -2, but we don't know the x value. So that's our next clue. If it says y equals -2, then that means that y can be a -2. So you come back here and you put -2 in here for y. And you solve this. So this would be -6 plus 2, which is -4. And that is your x value. Okay? When you take that -2 and you plug it in, you could put it in for any of your y values because it has to work for any of your equations. It's just this one down here is always going to be the easiest one to plug in and get your answer. So, recap, here's what we did. We got x or y alone, and then we took that and plugged it into the other equation. Once you do that, you will only have one variable and you can solve for that variable. So once you plug that in, this is just normal solving skills to get a solution. Then you substitute it back in and find the other half of your equation, or your ordered pair. Okay, let's try one more. So take a look here. We've got two equations. We need to get x or y alone. That does not matter. You pick whichever one is easiest. Okay, so if I'm looking at this, all I have to do is add a 3y to both sides, and I would have x by itself. So that means I'm going to write this equation here, where I added 3y, And I'm going to put the other equation over here. Okay? Now, at this point, you have a clue. This says x equals. That means this stuff has to go in the place where x is. So, right here where x is, you're going to put in 1 plus 3y. Okay? And then we're going to solve this. So, distributive property. And then combine like terms. And subtract 3 on both sides. And divide by 15. Right? So we could write this as about 2/3. Okay. All right, and then we gotta take this negative 2/3 and plug it back in. Remember, this would be the y value. So that means I'm going to put it where a y is. Anywhere there's a y, right? But this is going to be the easiest spot. Now you got to be careful about using the decimal here because remember that throws off the next part of your answer. But this is pretty easy because your 3's are going to cancel to give you a -2 and x equals -1. So that is the other part of your solution. Okay? All right. This last one I just have up here so that you can look at it. In this situation, y is already alone. So you didn't have any work to do there. It doesn't have to be x. It already says y equals. Then that means you would take this and put it in the y spot. So you gotta follow your clues if it says x equals or y equals, okay? When you get down to the bottom, you gotta make sure you know if you have an x or a y. All right, so try this new process of substitution.